welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth Cooper.
I am Stacey Earlywine.
And yeah, we're so glad you're joining us today. We have a fun episode planned.
Yes, our favorite episodes, by the way.
Our favorite thing to talk about is
old houses.
We have two really great ones from Clay County to talk to you about today.
Yeah.
One's in Flora and one is in Louisville.
Yes,
so,
we are.
It's going to be a fun episode.
Oh, boy. Yeah, we love these old houses, don't we?
Yes, we do.
I
want to live in one. And, every
do
single
too.
time I see one of these and I'm invited in, I'm like, yeah, this is the one I want.
Right.
Buy this house.
Excuse me, I want this house now.
Yeah, no. And then I fall in love with the next one.
The problem is we have a couple husbands.
Yeah, my husband wants nothing at all to do with an old house.
Yeah, mine doesn't either now. At our age now, he doesn't. He's like, no, Stacey, if this was 30 years, I said, you keep telling me that if it was 30 years ago.
I know, but how great is it that we get to talk about them?
We do. We get to enjoy them.
Yeah, this is the perfect way for us to enjoy them without actually living in one.
Absolutely. And then we don't have the upkeep.
That's right. It's cheaper this way.
It is cheap. It is definitely cheaper this way. But
yes.
Yeah, I'm going to cover the John Sullivan home in Louisville.
Okay, and I'm going to cover the Karr home in Flora.
All right.
K-A-R-R, Karr.
K-A-R-R. Okay.
Karr.
We got some interesting, a lot of fun pictures to talk about. But we first kick off our show. And Beth, where can they catch our show?
Oh, well, we are on Channel 100 of Wabash Communications daily, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. And then we're also on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is By the Way with Beth and Stacey. So if you're watching on Wabash and you might have missed an episode or two, you can find us on YouTube. And for those of you that aren't from Clay County, you may always watch us on YouTube. So
True.
Works for you.
YouTube's pretty good. Go on YouTube and like us. And
that's right.
By the Way with Beth and Stacey. Stacey is spelled S-T-A-C-E-Y.
That's right.
We are not, have 1 million followers yet, so we don't just pop up.
Yeah, you got to search for us.
You're going to have to search to find us.
We also have an email address, which is bytheway@gmail.com. And please send us any notes on the show. Let us know if you liked it, if you didn't like it, if we missed something, if we should have covered something else.
How good we look?
Yeah.
Don't forget how good we look.
You love our hair, that kind of thing. We take all kinds of fan mail. So
we will take it all. Oh,
yeah.
Fan mail.
Fan mail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have we got any fan mail yet?
No.
Okay.
But we want some.
Send us some fan mail. That's priceless. I just figured, I'd open the door and it would just come like Santa Claus or something.
Stacey and I have a ton of show ideas for future shows, but we don't know everything. So if you have a show idea that you want to hear us talk about and it has something to do with the history of Clay County, Illinois, or something if you're watching on Wabash and you're in the area but not Clay County, like you might be in Salem or Robinson or anywhere else, that's okay too. We'll cover that too.
Oh, I would love to cover. My husband, Jim Earlywine, is from Robinson, and you talk about some old homes.
Oh, yeah.
You betcha.
Yeah, we might need to make a trip.
We may have to do that. We may we visit my in-laws. We could do that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, we start off every episode with a ad from the Better Homes and Gardens magazines. I had bought a bunch of them at an auction years ago, and this one is from September 1954.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
Yes, look at
the
this.
chimney on that house. That is one wide chimney.
Oh my gosh, it really is. I never even saw that
That
earlier.
House is so mid-century modern, isn't it?
It
just screams it. Yeah, 1950s.
Huh. Yeah, this is like a September, so we got the fall colors going on.
Oh,
and look at the wall. Whoop, where am I at? The wall.
Yeah.
Do they have like a brick wall around their entire house?
I wonder if that's a fence.
I don't know.
It matches the
the
fireplace, yeah.
How interesting is that? I wonder what Dad's cooking on the grill.
And look at the window. It's like the window behind him is like a brick framed instead of nowadays we have vinyl trim around the windows. That almost looks like brick.
Well, doesn't that look like Dad's cooking right there?
Was that some kind of oven in the wall?
Is that like a pizza oven?
I want one of those.
Because look where Dad's at. Where's Dad? We're over here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, look at that. So what's he doing?
I don't know.
And little Tommy's right there with his Coca-Cola, getting something from Dad.
Maybe that was a thing back then to have a little outdoor kitchen,
like campers
in the wall.
Do now.
Yeah.
Yeah, camper. We love to camp. We go camping a lot, and but I don't have a camper that has the outdoor kitchen. Of course, I like to cook over the fire. I do like to do that. And but if it's really hot, I don't want to be cooking outside anyway, so I'm going to be in the camper cooking. But I do love that. And it's time to start cooking up the old camper.
Yeah.
Let's see our ad today. Let me find this. Holy cow. Guys, look at that flooring. Oh, my Lanta. I love this. Picture your home with one of these great Amtica flooring values. Wow. Wowza, wowza. Oh my gosh, yes, look at this. First of all, let's just look at the little girl down at the very bottom, your bottom left hand. It's so easy to design and install your own Amtica floors. She's got her little...
She's down there. So it's like, it's basically tile.
It is
squares, and she's laying tile.
Yeah, that's what that is. I bet that's that hard plastic tile, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
That I'm having covered at the shop.
Can't beat the something plastics rubber flooring. It's rubber?
Solid rubber and plastic throughout. Quiet and resilient. Will not burn or scar. Easy to install and clean. Gives you years of long wear.
Can you say asbestos?
Oh, right.
I wonder if that's what it's made of. It says it wouldn't burn.
Right.
And it's plastic and rubber. That's probably some full of chemicals.
Needs less care than any other flooring. Permalife. Shining beauty lasts a lifetime. All vinyl. Colors go through and through. Defies grease and acids. Ideal for any room in the home. So if you're acid proof and fireproof,
you're ready.
Yeah.
You're ready for whatever life throws at you in that room.
Oh, wow.
Acid proof. We all know how often we drop acid. I don't.
At least not since the 70s.
Gosh.
How funny is that?
Yeah, I don't think they sell flooring like that anymore.
They don't. No, because that's what I'm replacing in my shop in the theater.
Oh.
Is that, and that's that press-on hard plastic, and I bet it's been there since that building was built in '52.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's pretty old and stuff, but it's
but
going
yours
bye-bye.
isn't as pretty as what was in that picture.
No, that one's
yours
hideous.
is solid black.
It's solid black and it's awful.
Yeah,
that's pretty.
Yeah,
at least that.
pretty.
I mean, I could
and
deal
I like
with that.
how they could make a design. You
well,
know,
sure.
like, yeah.
Well, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell you what, these Better Homes and Gardens magazines from the 50s are full of so much information and products that I did not even know existed.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I have more fun going through that, picking out the what we're going to use. I'm going to take a gander at this real quick.
Yeah, whose magazine was this?
That is a fire pit.
I thought you were reading the tag on the corner.
No, I was looking.
Who was this mailed to? Someone had a subscription.
Yes. These came from Mrs. Frank Klingler on Star Route, Wakefield, Illinois.
Okay, so if you're reading, if you're watching and you're related to her,
yeah. That's what that is, Beth. That's an oven. See, they got their food here. Yeah, he's plumb cooking out there.
Well, first of all, you know what's strange about that is in the 50s, I didn't think the dads did any cooking at all.
Well, he is.
Good for him, and good for Better Homes and Gardens for putting it on the cover.
Good for you,
because
Dad.
I hope a whole bunch of women was like, excuse me, husband of mine. But see how this man's cooking?
Yeah.
Please start doing that more.
Follow suit, darling.
Yes, begin to grow.
Yes, in the 50s. Yeah, that's quite, you're right.
Uh-huh.
Because the women did it all in the 50s.
Yeah, they did.
In the 60s.
They even laid tile.
They even laid tile with the pearls and the heels on. Oh. Gotta love it. Well, I'm ready to jump into...
yeah, let's talk about these houses.
Okay, so do you want me to go
Yeah,
first?
you go first.
Okay.
Let's talk about the one in Louisville.
Okay, so this is John Sullivan. John Sullivan came to Clay County in 1826.
Okay,
and he was from South Carolina. He and his wife, Margaret, they had 5 children. And John Sullivan Sr. didn't actually build the house. It was his son, John W. Jr., who built the brick house that Nancy Byers actually lives in now, that big, beautiful brick house.
Let's take a look at it. And we'll show them what we're talking about.
And that's what Nancy did to it.
Yeah,
Nancy this is
a current picture. This was taken just a few days ago.
Is that does that not scream Gone with the Wind to you?
Oh, I love this house so much. This is the one I was talking about that I was in, and now I suddenly want to live there. I didn't have any desire to live there before.
Oh no, yeah.
But now I do because it is awesome. The inside is beautiful.
Well, and like I said, if she put that, we'll show pictures once we dive into the story a little bit. We will show more pictures of the outside of the house with that. But Nancy did this. I remember when she was doing that. Sam and Nancy Byers owned the house, and unfortunately Sam passed away a few years ago. But their daughter, Chris Roopson, is one of my best friends.
Mm-hmm.
She was actually, we met at OCC in college.
Oh, fun.
So Chris is one of my dearest friends, and I've been in the house a few times, you know. But Nancy put that beautiful front porch on, and I remember I do Nancy's hair, and she was in the shop, and I'm like, do you know what that's going to do to that house?
Mm-hmm.
It's
gorgeous.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yep.
So John Sullivan, I'll just touch on a little history before we go to a commercial break. John Sullivan came from South Carolina in 1826. He had 4 siblings, and they moved to Clay County. When they first moved to Clay County, they moved to Maysville, which is that north part on the north side of A lot of people don't know Maysville existed, but Clay City and Maysville were 2 different locations. Like if you guys are going on Route 50, like you turn left to go into that's north, go into the Clay City. If you would have turned south and go the opposite way where my family has homes, that's where Maysville was at. And did you know that Maysville was actually our county seat?
I did know that.
I didn't know that.
For a short time.
Yeah, and our county seat moved to Louisville in 1841.
Okay.
So we're talking
prior to 1841. So way before Flora was even founded.
Exactly.
Maysville was the place to be.
Yeah, and they lived in Maysville, and they moved in there from 34 to 38. Okay, so we're talking 1834 to we're talking old here.
Yeah, this is way back.
And he and his wife Margaret moved to Louisville in 1938.
Okay.
And this gentleman, Mr. John Sullivan Sr., was a mail carrier. And he carried mail from the Louisville post office to the O&M Railroad. So, yeah, he was a mail carrier.
Okay.
So he and his wife Margaret moved into Louisville in 1938, and he and Margaret had children. They had 5 children of their own, and their son, John W. Sullivan Jr., is the one who built the house, and we will dive into that after our commercial break.
They moved in there in 1935 or 1835?
1835. Did I say 19? No. We're in the 1800s. They moved to Louisville in 1838.
Yeah, 1838.
Get me in the 18s. 1838 is when they moved to Louisville with their children, John and Margaret Sullivan.
Okay, sounds good. Let's go to commercial and we'll finish the story.
Okay.
At your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville, you can count on experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, the Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville carry a large inventory of Napa products for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced associates understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa Know-How at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville. Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank to Go app. Search My Bank to Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Doors, paint, windows, electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh yeah, give me all your guns too.
John Lucas.
What?
You better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
Okay, welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth.
And I am Stacey, and we are covering the Sullivan brick home in Louisville, Illinois.
Yep.
So we have John and Margaret Sullivan have moved into Louisville in 1838. They had children, but the one that actually built the home was John W. Jr. He was married twice. His first wife, Emma Wilson, she died in 1860. So then he married another woman. Her name was Rachel Moore, and they were married in 1873, and they actually built the beautiful brick stately house in 1888.
Do we know how the first wife died?
No, we don't. No, we don't know how she passed away.
That's sad.
But he was a blacksmith.
Oh, cool.
So that's,
Okay.
Blacksmiths, when I think of blacksmiths, I like horseshoers and stuff. So they still have to exist, but I wonder if it's more on a manufacturing type.
Yeah.
I would think it would be.
Yeah, well, there's
Not
like
just the
machine
guy.
shops that do metal work. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I don't know. You just
I
don't
don't
hear
know.
about blacksmiths much.
Yeah, no.
And so, John W. Jr. And
Let's
his
call
wife.
him JJ.
Let's call him JJ. JJ and his wife, Rachel, built this beautiful home in 1888. It was a stately brick house, and it was built on the east edge of Louisville on the banks of the Wabash River. Beth, you have an old picture of the house?
This is the oldest one that we have. This one is obviously from October of 1945, and the whole house isn't even pictured there, but look how cute this is.
Oh, yeah.
You got the little baby in the front, the mama's there off to the side, and then, the way that this house sits is back behind it, there's about 10 acres, I think, that go
Yes.
with this house, and the little Wabash River is right there at the back edge of that
right
property.
There, back edge of it.
Yeah, so they were right along the river, and back then people were still using the Little Wabash. Today you don't have any boat traffic on there, but there was at one time.
And they actually used it in the winter because this place, it actually had an ice house on the property. So when the
Oh.
Wabash would freeze, they would cut off the ice from the Wabash and
Oh.
store it in the ice house.
Oh, nice.
But anyway, did we have any other pictures of this house, Beth?
We do.
Let's go
see.
look. I love that little baby. Goodbye, little baby. There.
There's one.
There's one. So this house was built with 8 rooms, and the funny thing about this house, it had no fireplaces,
That's weird.
which for this era was very unusual. They said that JJ, John Sullivan Jr., was way ahead of his time. So at this time, Franklin stoves were coming into being, so he installed several of those in his home.
Oh.
So the wood-burning stoves are coming around.
Okay.
And so that's what he did. He actually put wood-burning stoves throughout the entire
Cool.
house.
Yeah, so this picture, it's real obvious, like, the differences between the porches. So Nancy built on, like, right now, there's just kind of a front deck there, but the top, I call those porticos. Like
Yes,
the open,
porticos, yeah.
where it wasn't on there. But here's another picture of how it looks today.
Yeah.
Love those porches.
I just can't hardly handle
Yeah,
it.
I know, me either.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
great.
it just looks so stately and beautiful. Love
It
that.
is beautiful. And
Yeah.
so he put Franklin stoves throughout.
Okay.
The other thing
Smart
about
man.
that, very smart man, they said he was ahead of his time. The other thing that's great about this is it actually had a brick driveway that surrounded the house for carriages.
Oh, so you could just almost like a circle drive.
Almost like a circle drive. Yeah, almost like a circle drive. So you could
Because
actually,
you just, like, boop, go
and
right around.
This house is like, if you know where the jail is at, so it's like you're going around the square of Louisville and the jail's here, you can see it. Like if you're traveling,
East.
Beth, east.
You'd just be going straight east.
You'd
like-
see it. You can see Nancy's house just right up there
Like
on
you're
the
headed
hills.
to the current Clay County Sheriff's Department. You might know where that is. Just keep going straight. This house sits right at the very end of that
Oh,
road.
absolutely. So I can just hear that thump, 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 thump,
Oh,
thump,
yeah.
the carriages coming because we're talking 1888. You know,
Yes.
we haven't hit the 20th century yet. 1888. Like I said, the property also had an ice house, and when it was built right, the Little Wabash River is right behind it, and so they would use that river for cleaning their clothes and
Wow.
washing dishes and just using
I'm
the
not
water.
sure I would want to traipse across 10 acres with my dirty laundry.
Yeah, I bet they
Go down to the river.
And
I guess if you had to, you had to, but that's quite a little walk.
And well, the other interesting part about it is, like, they had that ice house. Now, I'd have to ask Nancy. I don't think she's ever said anything to me about, or I have to ask Chris if there was an ice house, if that original building's there. I know of like when you're going and up to the north of the house, there is a little building there, but I think they kind of made like a little house out of that, a little apartment, maybe. I don't know. My brain is foggy after being in there for a while. Now, another interesting fact: the stairway was very, very steep.
Yes, it still is
In the house, it's very
like,
steep.
Zoop, straight up.
Yeah, it's almost like, because the stairway in our house is very steep, but ours is like a Cape Cod type house. So ours are steep, but yeah, these are too. And there's not just like 9 or 10 of them.
I would guess there's probably 30 steps. And you would think that a house that old would have a great big wide, big staircase like you would see in a Victorian home.
It doesn't.
No. It's narrow.
It's narrow.
It would be hard to get furniture up there.
No,
Today's furniture, like big king size bed headboards and big king size mattresses. I don't know. Like, it's like straight up, and the stairs are seriously only like 3 feet wide, maybe 3 feet.
They're
narrow.
They're pretty narrow. And so the stairway was very, very steep. Actually, a sad story. So we have John Sullivan Jr. that built the house. His father, John Sr., actually fell down those stairs. He fell down those stairs and after a few days passed away from his injuries. So the stairway was so steep that he did fall. He took a fall.
That's so sad.
He took a fall down the stairs and passed away a few days later.
Wow.
The other interesting fact is, as old as this house is, because we're talking 1888, 1988, my goodness, 134 years old this house is now. It hasn't had very many owners. John W. and Rachel Sullivan lived in the home. After they passed, their daughter Daisy
that's cute.
lived in the home, and she actually took in boarders.
Oh, so many old homes did that, didn't they?
Yeah, so she did, and actually there was one bedroom reserved for a circuit riding preacher to stay. So preachers would do the circuits and come into town, so they would go to the Sullivan home, and they had their own special room for the pastors to come and stay.
That's cool.
Isn't that neat?
So then who owned it after Daisy?
So Daisy sold it to Ethel Krutzinger and her husband.
Okay.
And then in 1972, it was sold to Sam and Nancy Byers, who Nancy still resides in the home.
Yeah.
So it had the Sullivans, and we'll just count Daisy as a Sullivan.
Okay.
So the original owners, a Krutzinger and Nancy. So literally a home that is 134 years old has had 3 tenants.
Wow, that's really remarkable.
Yeah. Show that beautiful picture that you said you took when you went to visit.
Yeah.
Ah.
This is a painting that hangs in the dining room of the house. And when I went to visit, she let me snap a picture of this. The lady that painted it's written in the corner, but where I can't really see it that well. You may be able to see it on your screen, but yeah, that's hand painted and framed and hangs in her house, and that is just a beautiful, beautiful picture of the home.
Well, it looks like there's somebody walking to the front door.
Yeah, like carrying in a couple bags or something.
And there's a little duck over there.
Yep.
Huh. I've got,
very pretty.
Yeah, very pretty. And I've got a picture of, I want to show this picture since, Beth, give them a little story about how you went to Nancy's.
Okay. So I decided that I was going to do a little drive-by the house that Stacey wanted to talk about this week. And she didn't have a current picture of it, so I thought, well, while I'm there, I'll snap a picture. And so it was kind of getting ready to storm, but I pulled up there, and I'm looking at the house, and it's so pretty, and I jump out and take a couple pictures with my cell phone. And then I realized that there's a Ring doorbell on the house, so I'm on camera, which I know Nancy, and I thought, the polite thing to do is to tell her why I'm here and what I'm doing. So I knocked on the door and told her, hey, I'm I'm here out taking a picture. No worries. I didn't want to scare you or wonder what I was doing out there. And she was like, well, come on in.
Of course.
And then my mom was in the car and she invited us both in and we both got to see her beautiful home.
Yeah.
So.
Well, this is a picture. Let's zoom in. This is Sam and Nancy Byers. This is Sam and Nancy. Unfortunately, Sam passed away a few years ago.
It's a little blurry. There we go.
It's a little blurry.
Focused.
Yes.
Yeah, hold it real still. There we go.
But that is Nancy, who still lives there in front of the proud American flag that we all love.
Yes.
And I love Nancy Byers. She's one of my absolute favorite people.
I love Nancy Byers, too.
I do, too. She's a great woman. She's very involved in the city of Louisville. Nancy also loves antiques and everything like we do like. And, they've been there since 1972.
Quick question. The one that fell down the stairs and died, was that the guy that built the house?
His father.
So the guy that built the house, his own dad fell down the stairs and died. Do you think that whenever that happened, he was like, crap, why did I make those stairs so steep?
I don't know. I wonder why he did make them.
Did he have any remorse?
I don't know.
I bet he did. I bet he felt like crap over it. I mean,
what is this? Would this house be? Is this a colonial? The big squares.
I think
it's a colonial.
I think it's colonial too. I'm not an expert on architecture, but yes, I think it would.
So it makes you wonder if all colonial houses had that steep, because a lot of Victorians will go wind, you know, but it makes you wonder if all colonials or salt box. So salt box has 2 stories.
Yeah, maybe that was just the way it was done. I mean, it was the late 1800s, and it's just. Yeah. I mean, it hadn't been that many years since they probably used ladders.
Well, I can't remember. Well, I've been up there a couple times, but I remember one of the times when Chris and I became friends. Like I said, Chris Roopson, she lives in a beautiful old home. She lives in a grandmother's home. So
I want to talk about her home sometime too.
We're gonna nail Chris down for the information on that beautiful home because it's one of my favorites. And but anyway, we were in college and. And I went over there for something. Who knows what we were doing? I say Beth and I all the time. Chris and I loved the Go-Go's. We were talking about music.
Fun.
So Chris and I were Go-Go's girls. And if she was in here right now, we'd start breaking out and our lips are sealed or something. And I remember going over there and I walked up those steep, steep stairs into Chris's bedroom. And she's like, be quiet, be quiet. And I'm like, why? And she said, my cat's having kittens under my bed.
That's cool.
Yeah, she was a cat lover, Chris might kill me for saying that, but she was like, I'm like, why do I have to be? The cat's like, rah, rah. Oh, no. I'm like, what are you doing up there? Yeah, the cat was having kittens, so that was the beautiful Sullivan home.
Yes, it is gorgeous.
It was gorgeous.
Yeah,
and,
I learned a lot about that one because I didn't know about it.
Yeah, it's great. So, and after commercial break, we'll talk about the Karr house.
All right, we'll be right back.
If you're looking for a loan for your brand new home, call Clay County State Bank. If you want to transfer money so your future will look sunny, call Clay County State Bank. We got checking and savings and bill pay too.
An online banking, just ask our crew. For all your banking needs, we think you will agree.
Clay County State Bank is the place you need to be. Clay County State Bank.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
It's the weekend and your symptoms are worsening. The morning of a big meeting and you have a bigger sore throat. Ever experienced that urgency after picking up your sick child and your community health center has already closed? You will be able to connect to a provider at crhpc.org. Even if you have never been to CRHPC, you are welcome to utilize our services. Feel better after scheduling a video visit with CRHPC.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County Farmers Mutual Insurance.
Okay, welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. Today we're talking about old homes.
Our favorite.
Yes, our favorite.
Our favorite, yes.
We just talked about the old Sullivan home in Louisville, and now I'm going to talk about the old Karr home in
another
Flora.
one. Another one.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Karr is spelled K-A-R-R. It's with a K. This is a large Victorian home that most of you will probably recognize when I show you a picture. It's located on the corner of East 3rd and Sycamore Street.
Yes.
It's a large white home. I'll show you a picture of it now. Well, it's not that one. There we go.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is the
Dunnigan home is what we would have known
Dunnigan
it
home.
by,
The Dunnigan family has owned it for years, but it originally was built in 1904 by Frank Nichols. It was the architect on this. The Karr family is who built it, but Frank Nichols was the architect. Now, you may have heard that name before because Frank also built the depot, the Flora depot.
Oh, wow, that's neat.
Yes, and we have covered him in the Shadows of Elmwood cemetery tour, if you ever go on that. We did talk about Frank. He had an interesting life. He also built another Victorian home that's on the corner of East 6th and Sycamore that looks very much like the one we're talking about today, but it's different. They're very similar because they were built by the same architect, Frank Nichols. And Frank was known for building the sidewalks all around Flora. So have you ever been walking down the sidewalk and saw the name Nichols stamped into the sidewalk? They're everywhere, especially down near Fair Avenue.
Down by me,
Anyway, that's from Frank. He was very successful. He lived here for years, was in charge of the depot. He was successful, but he moved to Indiana, if I remember right, and then he went bankrupt. So it was kind of sad. Like, he's such this big, talented guy, and then he kind of lost everything. And then another thing about him, and I shouldn't even say this because I don't have the information in front of me, but if I remember right, I think he was stung by wasps, and that's what killed him.
Really?
I think.
Oh, well, I would think
I'll have to look that up.
True. Otherwise, where would you come up with that? You didn't just pull that out. It's like, heart attack, buggy rolled over, stung by wasps. No.
I think that was part of the story when we talked about him in the cemetery.
What a fascinating character.
Yeah. But anyway.
But he didn't live in the home. He
didn't.
The home.
He was the architect. Okay. He was hired to build it by the W.A. Karr family. And this W.A. Karr, he owned the lumber company.
Yes.
And so if you look through old advertisements in Flora, you'll see advertisements for the Karr Lumber Company, which was actually located next to where Valbert's is now. You know where the little flower shop is?
Yeah.
That was where the lumber yard was.
The original lumber yard.
The original lumber yard. And this was in 1903. They bought 2 lots there. Him and his wife did. And they bought one of the lots belonged to Thomas Greenlaw. That name will ring a bell because he ran Orchard City College.
Yes.
Okay, and the other lot was from a woman named Mary Turner.
Ooh, now that's a first name that's a first name for us, isn't it? I don't remember a Mary Turner.
No, and it's interesting that it was from a woman. It was listed under her name and not her husband's. It was her property, which was unusual for 1903. Maybe she was a widow. I don't know.
True.
A spinster, perhaps. I'm not sure. But anyway, they sold 2 lots. So this house took up 2 lots in the city. They hired the best of the best to come build it, and they wanted it filled with the best of the best. Only the best things went into this house. So the very best oak lumber. You know, the man owned a lumber yard.
Sure.
So you can imagine that the very best lumber is what went into this house.
Absolutely.
And it has a gorgeous oak staircase. Beautiful woodwork throughout. They did stained glass windows.
Oh, yeah.
Even the hallways had gingerbread carvings, like up high, you know, like around the...
My assumption is they're still there.
I think they are. One article I said that they were all still there. Parquet flooring. I mean, it was the best of the best. And they built it. They had, where did I put the information about his wife? He was married to Laura. Yes, William Karr. He was married to Laura. They had 5 kids while they lived there. And the neighbor lady said that they, you can remember, lots of kids running in and out. It was kind of the place to hang out, and it was fun, and all these kids were in and out all the time. I think William and Laura went on to have more kids after they moved away, because they lived there for a while, but then they actually moved away and moved over near St. Louis and Rolla, Missouri. But sometime along the way, I'm wondering if they came back, because they are buried near Reinard at Willow Branch Cemetery.
Really? In Reinard?
Mm-hmm. They died in the 1950s. Yeah. So let's see if we have another home.
You've got you've got an original picture in there, I'm pretty sure, don't you? Oh.
Look at this home back in the day now.
Wow.
Two of my favorite things about this house are in this picture. One is the carriage house.
Absolutely.
The little covering off to the right there of your screen, that was like basically a carport for your carriage. You would have the carriage would pull up on that small little driveway and drop you off there at the door, the side door. And then the other thing that's my favorite thing, and this is probably my favorite feature of any house in Flora, is that keyhole stained glass window.
Jeez, are we the same person?
We are.
My goodness, I was thinking the same thing.
I don't see that in any of the other houses.
You don't see that.
That would cost $1 million to replace, I bet. I mean,
Can you imagine?
Maybe not that much, but that would be entirely custom, because that keyhole shape and that stained glass, it is
and you're
beautiful.
taking consideration when you guys drive by, those pillars, those stone pillars are still there. Those are the original pillars that are still there.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder what kind of, did they use siding? Would that have just been painted?
I think that would
have just been painted now.
Yeah.
But that carriage, See, there's that original stonework.
And the original stones are still there, and the stained glass is still there. And now this last summer, the current owners put a new coat of paint on it. It needs a second coat. They're working on it, and they're still working on that porch. That's their main thing to get finished. But it's just been a really big job for them, and they are busy people.
Well,
so it's hard for them to find
everything's
the time.
Outrageous.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, it's going to take years to get this.
So,
but boy, it is. I wonder if I bet they let us go in it.
I hope so. So
I bet they may not have a choice.
Yeah. So the Karr family sold this house in 1928. So they built it in 1904, and they spent all this money and built this huge mansion. Basically, I call it a mansion.
I think it is.
1904 to 1928.
To them, that was probably a small house back in the day. Yeah, they were grand homes. That's
so that's
for sure.
only 24 years that they lived there, which I mean that's.
Jim would have had to take me out in a bag with that house.
They sold it to the Rich family that ran a Rich furniture store. We've seen that in old ads too, and I think that in that old cookbook that we talked about, there was an ad in that cookbook for the lumberyard and for the furniture store. So the Riches ran that.
And
they bought it in 28. So this is another house that really hasn't had that many owners. Okay, so I'm going to go through them. So we had the Karr family who built it. Then we had the Rich family who ran the furniture store, and then they sold it to Hubert McKnight in 1948. And I don't know Hubert, but I like that name. I want to say that over and over. That's fun. Hubert McKnight.
Hubert McKnight.
Cool name. Okay. He only owned it for 20 years, and then he sold it in 1968 to the Dunnigan family, who's still
been there since.
Currently own it. So 4 owners for this home that's over 100 years old.
Yeah, I would have. So the Dunnigans have had that in there for 54 years.
Yes. So
wow.
So the Dunnigans who bought it were Barbara and Richard Dunnigan, and they purchased it in 68. And Richard was an electrician, and he ran R.E. Dunnigan Electrical Service. His wife Barb was his secretary, and let's see, they passed. Well, Richard passed away in June of 2018, and I got that messed up. I think actually Barbara passed away in June of 2018, and then Richard in January 2018. They were just 6 months apart.
Oh, I didn't realize. I knew the Dunnigans had passed, but I didn't realize they were that close.
Yeah, yeah. So
Very nice
the
people.
current owners are Darren and Crystal Dunnigan, which
Yeah.
are their kids, and then also Mark Dunnigan. He is living there too.
Yeah.
So
we all went to school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know Darren and Crystal. Crystal
Okay.
actually, her mother still lives behind my house on the corner of Austin and East Drive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so yeah, very familiar with the Dunnigans. So actually, Darren and Crystal and the brother are the ones that are remodeling.
Yes,
it now.
they're the ones that are remodeling it. Yep. So let's see.
What do we know about? Let's go. I
Let's
thought
see.
there was a.
Look at this one.
Wow.
Holy smokes, folks!
I mean, the angle's totally different. It just
Yes.
from the sides, it just takes on a totally different
Yes.
perspective.
So
now that's
that-
a painted lady right there.
Yeah, it has. This is in the early days, so the paint is a little different here, and you can see that they have the trim work at the top is painted a darker color. I would like to see this in, like, this has this whole sepia tone to it, but I would like to see it like actual full color photograph.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll probably have a difficult time finding a.
Yeah,
full
no,
color.
I don't think you
unless
could.
maybe Darren and Crystal may have one. I haven't run
I don't
into them
know.
lately, but
Yeah, but just look at, I mean, that beautiful porch with the wide steps. And the staircase in this home, I'm sure, is nothing like the one in the Sullivan house. This one has the full
it's gonna
beautiful
wind.
staircase.
Yeah, I bet it's gonna wind too.
Yes, And you know what else I love about this house is that second floor and that little portico or whatever it is that you can step out on. You know, I would
You
sit out
betcha.
there and
a little
drink
veranda.
my coffee. Yes.
Oh, I love those.
Yes.
There's nothing like them. I think they're.
Yeah.
You can just see. I can just see a lady back in, in the 1900s, just standing out there with her little.
Oh yeah.
Just standing out there looking beautiful in her
Yes.
too tight dress and.
Yeah, and
her
like
little
there's
umbrella.
like a barn or a shed in the background.
Yes.
Now there's almost a house there. I mean, they have
Yeah,
have a garage back there, but the house that's on the next street over kind of butts up a little close
It's
to
a beautiful home. Is that the
yeah.
yellow home?
Yeah, I want to talk about that one day too.
Yeah.
Might be knocking on their door.
So once again, guys, if you see Beth and I in your yard,
That's right.
knocking because we're not above.
That's right.
We've
Knocking
knocked on
doors.
one door, the black house on Vincennes. We sure did. We knocked
Yes.
on that, and I don't know. Now that I know that Darren and Crystal have the house, I might be knocking on their door and being like,
Yes.
"Please!" I bet they let us go in.
I bet they would too.
I bet they would too, because I'd love to see what's original. What about fireplaces or anything in that house? Do you know?
Let's see if I wrote down fireplaces.
What the inside, the ginger.
I think I read somewhere. I didn't write it down, but I think it had 2 fireplaces.
Yeah, which. Like the black house had like 8 or 9. Every room had a fireplace in it.
Yeah.
How interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we need to.
We'll take a break, and then
we'll
I have
take
a little
another
bit more
break.
to talk about on this
Yeah,
one. So we'll
wonderful.
come back.
Do you bowl like this? That's great. Do you bowl like this? That's great too. That's because whether you're a pro or you just want to have a lot of fun, at Peggle's Silver Dollar Lanes, we have a lane for you. We have galaxy bowling, gaming for kids and adults, Joe's Pizza, a full bar, darts, pool, and fresh and clean bowling shoes. Boy, does that smell nice. So come on down to Peggle Silver Dollar Lanes in Effingham, where we have a lane for you.
My name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting the work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Flora for all your custom and promotional needs.
The insurance specialists have options to tailor to your needs at CSI Insurance Brokers. Experienced insurance brokers at CSI are skilled with all types of insurance plans and policies and represent many companies, including Safeco Insurance. You'll benefit from their detailed expertise, unbeatable premiums, and commitment to customer service. CSI Insurance Brokers and Safeco Insurance Company, providing affordable rates on quality insurance since 1952.
For over 50 years, at your locally owned and operated Roll King Supply in Salem and Olney, we've helped you and your neighbors enjoy an easy country lifestyle. We carry the most thorough sporting goods department around with a huge variety of hunting and fishing gear, camping equipment, and a variety of firearms for any need. Our team is here to help you find whatever you need. Open every day, it's Rural King in Salem and Olney, your locally owned farm and home store.
Okay, welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. We are deep in conversation about the Karr home in Flora.
We are.
One of the large Victorians. The Dunnigan family owns it now. Couple of things I was going to say about it is that it was also a boarding home for a while. You know, we talked about that with the Sullivan house. The Karr family was too. They had 5 rooms upstairs, and those were rented out. Up until like the 60s, I think, when the Dunnigans bought it, it had been a boarding home. So I think when the Dunnigan family bought it, they worked on it for 2 to 3 years before they moved in.
Okay.
So I think they took it down from being more of a boarding home kind of setup
to a family home. How many bedrooms does it have?
I'm assuming the 5 upstairs is all of the rooms. I don't know. I didn't ask that.
When you're in a boarding home, so you're basically just renting a bedroom and then you use the rest of the home's facilities?
Yes.
How does a boarding home work? I mean, you don't hear about that anymore.
I think you just pay rent for the room to sleep in, and then you get to use the bathroom in the hall. And then I think that the boarding home owner would usually, kind of like a bed and breakfast.
That's what I was just ready to
I'm
say.
fixing this for supper. Do you want a plate? You know, you can come down and eat with us. Almost like a family. And a lot of widows have done that through history, like turned their homes into boarding homes because that was a respectable way for them to make money after their husband was gone. Because there weren't very many respectable ways for them to make money.
No, there wasn't.
And so that was one of them.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, so let's look. I don't think I showed this picture. I think
see, and it looks different now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one is 1968, so it's a little bit blurry.
Do you think this is the largest home in the city limits?
I don't know.
It's larger than the Pixley home. The Pixley home doesn't have that back.
No, it's larger than the Pixley home.
It's larger than Pixley.
I don't know.
I bet it is. I bet as far as I'm not talking like Flora. I mean, I'm talking city limits.
Yes.
It's got to be the largest home in the city limits.
I don't know. The one on 6th and Sycamore that is very similar to
Mr.
that.
Or is that Mr. Phillips' house?
No, that's Mr. Phillips' house is the Pixley house.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm talking about the one that the Large family is currently redoing.
It's not as big as that one.
Okay.
They're
very close though.
They're very close, but I don't think it's as big as that one. That one has that back room on. Because actually, the houses what's the original name of the houses that the Larches is on?
Let's see. I showed that one.
Yeah.
It was the Bowman family.
The Bowman family. Yeah, it was.
We are going to cover that eventually.
Yeah, the Bowman family didn't have that. Yeah, I think I would almost bet that this one's
stained glass.
This is probably the biggest home. It would be close, but I don't know. I just feel like that because like the Bowman home, I felt like the rooms were kind of like a smaller.
I don't know, the Scudamore home that Calvin Wilson lives in now.
True,
that's pretty big.
That's big, but he added on
to that one, yes.
Because I don't think that the Dunnigan house has been added on to.
I don't think so either.
Where Wilsons live, they've actually added on that back. So I would say, Dr. Wilson probably does have the biggest home with that back. But it might be close.
Yeah.
That's a pretty grand house.
Yes, it is.
I wish we knew the square footage.
Yeah, well.
We'll find out when we come knocking on your door.
Yeah.
Hello.
It's Beth and Stacey, and by the way,
By the way, hey, can you move over for a second? I'm looking in there. Oh, I'm a total peeping Tom. Not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a peeping. I love homes.
Yeah,
I should have been a real. If I wasn't a hairdresser, I'd be a real estate agent. Oh, absolutely.
You could change careers. People
do
that in the 50s.
I don't know. I just want to be nosy now.
Yeah, you're really good at hair too. I need you to stay in business, please.
Okay, I'll stay in business. So. Was there any more information? Do we have?
I think I pretty well covered everything about the Karrs and the Dunnigans. Well, Bob Smith, though, Bob, he owned the Smith Mill.
Yes.
So I found somewhere where he had written on a Facebook post about this house that he had the opportunity to buy the house in the 60s, so probably right before the Dunnigans bought it. He went and looked at it, and it was for sale, and it was $15,000. He didn't buy it because he thought it was going to be a lot of work.
Oh my gosh! So you're talking when the Dunnigans bought it was probably $15,000-$20,000 home. Now, And when we were talking to the gentleman that owns the Black House on Vincennes, to even redo that back to its grandeur glory would be millions of dollars.
Millions.
Wow. But, the beauty of these houses is owners didn't because with the Black home on Vincennes, there was some remodeling going on, and they took out 9 beautiful marble fireplaces. I think that the homes we've talked about today, they have kept everything.
Yes. I think so.
As original. Which, that's what I would do. I would bring, especially we go into like a Victorian like that.
Yeah, I'm all about keeping it original.
Yeah.
I love that.
But like that stained glass, I wonder where the stained glass windows came from.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was probably a business in a nearby town. We ought to research that.
Yeah, we did, because we were talking about stained glass. Oh, when we did churches.
Yeah.
Gosh, think back in your memory, the churches, a lot of those stained glass windows came. And they weren't like what was the one at the Methodist Church, the Flora United Methodist Church there on the corner of North Main and 3rd Street? Like that big, beautiful window with Jesus in it, it was like only, was it like $8,000 maybe?
Yeah, I don't remember.
It wasn't very much.
It's been too long ago. But
Not
yeah,
like
it wasn't
what you
very
would
much.
pay
Wow.
What
Today?
you do today.
Oh my gosh, what do you think a window like that would cost today?
Oh, I would probably say $40,000-$50,000.
Yeah, I bet you're right.
Even a small stained glass window would be unreal. And could you imagine like bringing that here, traveling with that?
No, I'd be scared to death I'd break it. I don't want that job.
I mean, it's
I would not want that job of being like glass transporter.
No.
That'd be
That
awful.
being like, I'm not a baker, but like even wedding cakes, I wouldn't even want to
yeah.
transport a wedding cake. Let alone a $1,000 stained glass window.
Yeah.
There are several others. And you know what? If you would like for Beth and I to, put your house, if you've got an old home, if you've got a history of a home, we would love to. We would love to incorporate that on the show, Beth. If we told them where we can be seen.
I'm not sure if I mentioned it at the beginning or not, but we're on YouTube. And By the Way with Beth and Stacey is what you search under. We're also on Wabash Television, channel 100, daily at 11 a.m. And then you can always send us an email to Beth and Stacey, or By the Way with Beth and Stacey at gmail.com.
Yeah, so we would love to hear from you, and especially like if you've got any old pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're going to kind of maybe scavenger in an old building in Flora soon, aren't we?
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So somebody's shot us an email or a message and was like, hey, we went upstairs. There's a bunch of stuff here. You want it? We're like, yeah, probably.
Yeah, we'll definitely look at it.
Definitely. So yeah, there's a lot of houses that I would like to cover. There's more houses. So once again, if you see us driving around, going in alleys, taking pictures of your house, but I have to ask you, because I had mentioned to Nancy Byers, we did the Sullivan house in Louisville, and I told Nancy, I said, hey, we're going to feature your house on By the Way. She was like, oh, great. And I'm like, yeah. I said, hey, would you mind if we came and took pictures? Of course, she was okay. Did you ask the Dunnigans? Did you knock on the Dunnigans'
I did.
door?
I knocked on the back door, and I'm like, I hate to bother you, but can I take a picture of your house? So he was so nice, and he was like, absolutely. And then he told me a little bit about the house, and I took notes, and we went through the history of it. And yeah, he spent some time and kind of...
Was that Darren or Mark?
That was Mark. Mark Dunnigan.
See, I don't know. I don't think I know him as well. I mean, I don't think I know
he's very
him.
Nice, very helpful. So thank you, Mark, if you're watching. That was great.
Yeah, thank you, Nancy, for letting us...
and thank you, Nancy.
And thank you for the future people that we're going to barge in onto your homes lately.
Yes, yeah. So... Each time we do a show, we always end with something called the rules to live by. It's a list that we found. And what is today's rule to live by? What do we got?
Kindness always triumphs. Be kind.
Kindness always triumphs. Be kind. Good advice.
It is good advice. Why be mean when you can be nice?
That's right. I always tell my kids, just kill them with kindness.
You know, that is
somebody's mean to you, kill them with kindness.
Is it biblical, the hot coals?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I try to be kind. You know, I go places. I'm usually smiling. Even if I'm in a bad mood, I can fake it till I make it, you know. And I'm usually pretty happy anywhere I go. I'm smiling. I say hello to people. Yeah. Actually, if Jim and I are at Walmart, he's usually in the car, and I'm still in the hallway talking to somebody. And the funny thing is, I was in there one time and said, "Oh, I heard you at Walmart." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't see you. I'm sorry." They're like, "I didn't see you either. I heard you."
Oh,
you were
your voice was
my voice was carried in the halls of probably screaming for Mark Lindemann. Mark, where are you? Where's my popsicles in the red mesh bag?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, are the best popsicles you can buy.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, they're real smooth, icy.
Okay.
Do you love popsicles?
I'm okay. I like popsicles.
Oh,
okay.
I love popsicles. I can get on a kick with popsicles like you've never seen before.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite popsicles are the banana ones.
I'm leaving. I am leaving. Are you serious? Yes. The one that you break it.
Yes. Those your
Holy-
favorite too?
Yeah.
Of course they are. Of course they are.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
I
they really
love
can't
it.
be beat. I mean, if any of you guys haven't had a banana popsicle in a while, you need to go buy some.
For real, because like you can buy the banana, just a banana bag of popsicles.
Yes, all bananas.
You can't get it in cherry or grape or blueberry or whatever it's called, but you can get a whole box of banana alone. So they're
they're
my favorite.
The company knows the banana ones are the best.
Do you remember those? I love a fudge sickle too. Do you remember those fudge sickles that had like the banana fudge, the chocolate fudge, and then the banana on the bottom?
I don't remember that, but
Andy's-
I never was a fan of fudge sickles.
Andy's Market on South Main Street, when they had them, had those. Yeah, they also came like in the red, white, and blue, but they were more of an icy type thing.
Yes, and messy.
But these were like, and they kind of like had like a weird side, and then like the top was kind of a little dome thing. And it was, like I said, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. It was chocolate, then the banana was in the middle of chocolate. Man, those things were amazing.
Okay.
I loved those.
Do you remember Jell-O pudding pops?
Yes.
Bill Cosby was the guy that did the commercials. Jell-O pudding. You can't buy those anymore. You haven't been able to for a long time.
I wonder why.
Those were the bomb diggity. Those things were so darn good.
Did you?
I did. I said bomb diggity.
Bomb diggity do, yeah.
I'm from the 90s. I was in high school in the 90s. That was the thing to say. But yes.
Wow. Yeah, those pop. Well, you need to.
They were good.
Yeah, because I don't want anything that's kind of like.
Back.
I don't like ice that's crystally. I want it real smooth.
Yes.
I want that real smooth type ice. I don't want that.
That's how the Jell-O pudding pops were. They were good. I don't know what the Jell-O company was thinking when they quit making those.
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah, because you can't find them. So now when I buy fudge sickles, it's just to want that little pink one.
Yeah, I don't buy fudge sickles at all. If I'm
You
gonna
don't
buy
like them?
No,
I like
but
them.
I'll buy those sundae cones.
No. Oh yeah, those are good.
Yeah, those are
The
good.
Dairy Queen. Does the Dairy Queen still have fudge sickles?
Yes.
Yeah, and they're fat free.
Yeah.
Game changer, people.
Yes.
They're a game changer. They are fat free.
But if I'm going to the Dairy Queen, I don't want that.
No, I'm gonna get it. I don't get blizzards very often, but I like my M&M shoot. That's what I get. Oh my God,
We're the same.
It is. It's almost scary.
It is almost scary.
You know what else is made? Well, kindness. But yeah, be kind all the time. And I'm sad because we're done.
Yeah, our show's
We're
over.
getting about done with our show. We got just a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Well, we're almost there, but be kind.
Yeah.
And find your soulmate.
Yes.
I don't think that Jason is Beth's soulmate, and I don't think that Jim is my soulmate.
No.
I think that Beth and I.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure we might
We're
be soulmates.
what Anne of Green Gables would have called kindred spirits. Did you ever read Anne of Green Gables?
No, I don't read. That's where we are. Yeah.
Well, you should watch the TV series. But
I
it
will
was
watch
really
the
good.
TV. Yeah,
it was really good. We are kindred spirits.
We definitely are
meant
kindred
to be
spirits.
friends.
We are,
So,
and I think our
that's
time's
for
almost
today.
up. So
thanks for joining us. I hope you loved hearing about the Karr home and the Sullivan home, and we can't wait to bring you more information on the history of Clay County. So
and popsicles.
Yeah.
Get
Till
the
next
banana.
time.
God bless you.
Bye bye.